Auntie Ego came over and surprisingly, her voice was kinder now, softer. My dear, nobody is born knowing how to do these things. I couldn't do it when I first married. I spilled more water than I carried. But you must learn. This is life, real life. Not the one on Instagram where everything is filtered and perfect. But why? Why do I need to learn this? We have taps in Lagos, running water that comes from pipes like civilized people. Because, Auntie Ego said, looking her straight in the eye, life is not always civilized. Sometimes the taps stop running. Sometimes the pipes break. Sometimes the money finishes. And when that happens, you need to know how to survive. You need to be strong. Not Instagram strong, real strong. Over the next few hours, Zara's entire soft life collapsed like a house of cards in a hurricane. Day 2, she was woken up at 5 a.m. by Machidi banging on her door like the police doing a raid. Wake up, the sun is almost out, we have work to do. The sun is not even up yet, it's still night, this is inhuman. But she had to wake up anyway to help prepare breakfast for 15 people. 15! She had to peel yams onto her hands cramped. She had to light a fire with firewood, and her eyes were streaming with tears from the smoke. She looked like she had been pepper sprayed. Day 3, her second nail broke while she was grinding pepper with a grinding stone. A grinding stone, like a caveman. She was literally doing work that existed before the invention of the blender. Day 4, all her nails were gone. She had cut them all off herself because they were a liability, a hindrance, a joke. Her 30,000 naira investment gone. She cried while cutting them. Each snip of the scissors felt like cutting off a piece of her identity. Her hair, which she had just installed for 80,000 naira at the premium salon in Lekki, got completely ruined from smoke exposure while learning how to make firewood burn properly in the outside kitchen. The lace was lifting, the bundles were tangling. It looked like a bird's nest designed by a drunk architect. By day 5, Zara had to take out the wig completely because it was beyond saving. She stood in front of the cracked mirror, looking at her natural hair for the first time in years, and almost didn't recognize herself. She learned to pound yam, and sweet Lord in heaven, her arms felt like they were going to detach from her body and run away. The pestle was heavy, heavier than any dumbbell she had ever pretended to lift at the gym. Her shoulders screamed, her back ached, her entire body filed a formal complaint. She learned to gut fish and she cried real tears, not fake Instagram tears, real, snotty, ugly tears. The fish was slippery and still moving, and she was convinced it was judging her. She learned to wash clothes with her hands, scrubbing them on the washing stone with soap and fury because the washing machine was broken. It wasn't broken. Mama Chidi had unplugged it on purpose as a lesson. Every morning, Zara would sneak to the one spot in the compound where there was one tiny bar of signal, and she would WhatsApp her friends. Guys, I'm dying. Send help, or a helicopter, or both. Actually, send the military. This is a hostage situation. Her friends replied, Character development era. We love this journey for you. Post pics. Pics? You want pics? I look like I fought a war and lost. My nails are gone. My hair is gone. My dignity is gone. Even better, authentic content, very relatable. Your engagement will skyrocket. Zara wanted to throw her phone into the well, but it was her only connection to civilization, so she restrained herself. By day 6, something started to change. Not in the situation, but in Zara herself.
She was carrying water, still spilling half of it, but carrying it nonetheless, when she noticed that her arms, while still sore, were getting stronger. She could carry the bucket a little further before needing to rest. She was pounding yam when she realized that her rhythm was getting better. The pestle was becoming an extension of her arm rather than a foreign object trying to kill her. That evening, she successfully made jollof rice without burning it. And when the aunties tasted it and nodded approvingly, something warm bloomed in her chest. Pride? Accomplishment? She wasn't sure, but it felt good. On day 7, Christmas Eve, the family slaughtered a goat for the feast. Zara, who had only ever seen meat in neat plastic packages at ShopRite, who thought meat grew in styrofoam trays covered with plastic wrap, watched in absolute horror as the goat was killed, cleaned, and prepared from start to finish. "I can't watch this," she said, turning away, her stomach churning, her privileged city girl sensibilities completely overwhelmed. "This is traumatic. I'm going to need therapy." "Then go inside," Mama Chidi said, not unkindly. "But tonight, when you are eating that delicious pepper soup, when you are licking your fingers and asking for more, remember where it came from. Food doesn't just appear on Instagram, my daughter. Food doesn't grow in supermarkets. There is blood, sweat, and hard work behind every single meal. There is life and death. There is sacrifice. This goat gave its life so we can celebrate. Show some respect." That hit differently. That night, when Zara ate the pepper soup, it tasted different, better, deeper, more real, like she had earned it, like she was connected to it in a way she had never been connected to food before. She found herself thinking about all the meals she had posted on Instagram, all the food she had taken pictures of and barely eaten, all the restaurants she had been to where she complained about the service or the temperature or the presentation. She felt ashamed. By day 10, Zara's whole appearance had changed completely. If you saw before and after pictures, you wouldn't believe it was the same person. No makeup. Her face was bare, clean, sun-kissed, hair tied in a simple scarf, wearing one of Mama Chidi's old wrappers because all her designer clothes were either dirty, impractical, or both. Her hands had calluses, real hard end calluses. Her skin was darker from the sun. Her arms had actual muscle definition. She looked different, stronger, more real somehow, less filtered, more authentic. One morning, day 11, she woke up at 5 a.m. without anyone calling her. She went to fetch water without being asked. She started the fire in the kitchen without being told. She began boiling water for tea like it was the most natural thing in the world. When Mama Chidi came out and saw her, she stopped dead in her tracks and smiled. A real smile this time. Wide, genuine, proud. "You are learning," Mama Chidi said simply. "I'm trying," Zara replied, and she meant it. "No," Mama Chidi corrected her. "You are not trying. You are learning. There's a difference." That afternoon, Zara was sitting under the mango tree, taking a rare break, her muscles finally relaxing, when Auntie Ego came to sit beside her, carrying 2 bottles of cold Fanta. The generator had been on that afternoon, a Christmas miracle. "You know," Auntie Ego said, handing her 1 bottle. "When you first arrived, we all thought you would run back to Lagos within 3 days. We even had a bet. I bet 2 days. Nkiru bet 3 days. Ifeama bet you wouldn't even last till morning. Who won? Nobody. You surprised us all." Zara opened the Fanta and took a long drink. It was the sweetest Fanta she had ever tasted in her life. Maybe because she had actually worked for it. Maybe because she was genuinely thirsty, not just Instagram thirsty. "I don't understand why all this is necessary though," Zara admitted. watching a group of children playing in the distance. I mean, Chidi and I have money. We could hire people to do all this. Why do I need to know how to pound yam or fetch water? We are not going to live in the village. We are going back to Lagos where we have running water and electricity and DoorDash. Auntie Go looked at her seriously, her playful expression turning solemn. My daughter, let me tell you a story. You see that woman over there, Mama Adeaze? She pointed to an older woman across the compound, grinding pepper with steady, practiced hands. Yes?
That woman was like you once. Rich husband, lived in Port Harcourt in a big house, had drivers, maids, everything. She didn't know how to boil water. Then one day, her husband's business collapsed. Just like that, one bad deal and everything was gone. They lost the house, the cars, everything. They had to come back to the village with nothing. Zara felt a chill despite the heat. But you know what saved her? The skills she learned here as a young bride. She knew how to farm. She knew how to cook. She knew how to survive. She fed her children with her own hands from food she grew herself. Today, her husband's business is back. They are comfortable again. But she says those hard years taught her what real wealth is. Not money that can disappear, but skills, knowledge, strength. Auntie Ego took a sip of her Fanta and continued. Life is not always soft, my dear. Money can finish, people can leave, health can fail, but skills, knowledge, strength, these things stay with you forever. Today, you have someone to help. Tomorrow, who knows? We are not punishing you. We are preparing you. There's a difference. Zara felt tears prickling her eyes. Real tears this time, not the fake ones she used for sympathy selfies. I never thought about it like that, she whispered. Of course you didn't, because nobody taught you. But now you know, and knowing is the beginning of wisdom.
That evening, during the big Christmas Eve celebration, the compound was transformed. Colored lights were strung up. The generator was running at full capacity, a special occasion. Music played from a speaker. The smell of roasted goats, jollof rice, and fried plantains filled the air like a delicious cloud. The family gathered, and I mean gathered. People Zara hadn't even seen before appeared from everywhere. Distant cousins, nephews, nieces, neighbors, friends. The compound was packed with humanity, laughter, and joy. Zara, exhausted but somehow happy, sat with the women. For the first time, she wasn't watching from the outside. She was part of the circle. She laughed at their jokes. She shared stories about Lagos, the real Lagos, not the Instagram Lagos. She asked them questions about their lives and actually listened to the answers. You know, Auntie Nkiru said, nudging her, when you first arrived, I told Mama Chidi that you wouldn't last 2 days. I said this one will run back to Lagos crying about network and air conditioning. You weren't wrong, Zara laughed. I almost did. Day 3, I was researching how to call an Uber from the village. The women burst out laughing. But you didn't run, Auntie Fioma added. You stayed. You tried. You fell down many times, but you got up. That is what matters. Not perfection, persistence. Later that night, when the party was in full swing, Mama Chidi called Zara aside to a quiet corner of the compound. In her hand was a small wooden box, old and worn, with intricate carvings on the lid. Sit, Mama Chidi said, and Zara sat.
Mama Chidi opened the box slowly, like she was opening a treasure chest. Inside was a beautiful coral necklace, the beads glowing even in the dim light, each one perfect and precious. This, Mama Chidi said softly, belonged to my mother. My grandmother gave it to her when she proved she could be a strong woman, not just a pretty one. My mother gave it to me on the day I carried 20 buckets of water without spilling a drop. That was 45 years ago. Zara's eyes widened. Mama, that's incredible. Every woman in our family who has worn this necklace has been tested, not to break them, but to build them, to show them what they are capable of, to transform them from girls into women. Mama Chidi held the necklace up and it caught the light, sparkling like stars. When you first arrived, I saw a child. A pretty child, yes, but still a child. Soft, weak, helpless. Someone who would crumble the first time life got hard. And I thought, this one cannot marry my son. She will suffer and he will suffer. Zara's heart sank. Was she being rejected?
But now, Mama Chidi continued, her eyes growing softer. Now I see a woman, not perfect, still learning, but strong, willing, someone who falls down and gets back up, someone who complains but still does the work, someone who can survive the storm. She placed the necklace in Zara's hands. The beads were cool, smooth, heavy with history and meaning. Mama, I can't accept this. It's too valuable, too important to your family. You are family now. Or you will be if you still want to marry my son after all this torture we've put you through. Zara laughed through her tears. I do. I really do. Then this is yours. You earned it. You came here thinking life was about filters and ring lights and soft life. You are living knowing life is about fire and fight and strong life. You are now ready to be a wife. Not just Chidi's wife, but a woman who can stand on her own, who can survive anything, who can build a home even when things are hard. Mama Chidi fastened the necklace around Zara's neck. It settled against her skin like it had been made for her.
Wear it with pride, my daughter. You are a December wife. A wife who was tested by the village and passed. Not all women pass. Some run, some quit, some break. But you bent but you didn't break. That is strength. Zara couldn't speak. She just hugged Mama Chidi, this woman who had seemed so scary, so harsh, so impossible to please. Now she understood. It wasn't cruelty. It was love, tough love, the kind of love that prepares you for real life. When they returned to the party, Auntie Go saw the necklace and gasped. The coral beads? She gave you the coral beads! All the women turned to look. Their eyes widened. A hush fell over them. She passed the test, Auntie Nkiru announced loudly. The Lagos girl passed the test. The compound erupted in jubilation. The women started singing, dancing, celebrating. Even the men joined in. So they didn't fully understand what was happening. They just knew it was something important, something good. Chidi found Zara in the middle of the celebration, the necklace gleaming around her neck, tears streaming down her face, but smiling, really smiling. Not an Instagram smile, a real one. You okay? He asked, pulling her aside. Yeah, Zara said, touching the necklace. I'm just different now.
Good different or bad difference? Good difference. Very, very good difference. I'm sorry it was so hard. I wanted to help you more, but Mama said, no. Zara interrupted. She was right. You couldn't help me. I had to do it myself. I had to prove myself. Not to you, to me. Chidi looked at her with such pride, such love. I'm proud of you. You know that, right? I know this wasn't what you signed up for. Actually, Zara said thoughtfully, maybe it's exactly what I signed up for. I just didn't know it yet. The next few days passed in a blur of celebration, eating, resting, and more celebration. But something had fundamentally changed in Zara. She woke up early without complaints. She helped with chores without being asked. She listened to the women's stories with genuine interest. She asked questions about farming, about preserving food, about traditional medicine. She even started teaching the younger girls in the village some things she knew.
how to take good photos without the ring light obsession, how to write compelling captions, how to use social media safely. In exchange, they taught her things: how to identify which firewood burns best, how to know when yam is ready to harvest, how to tell if someone is lying. It was an exchange, a real one, not transactional, but relational.
On their last day in the village, Zara woke up before everyone else. She went to the well and fetched 4 buckets of water. 4, without spilling much. She got the fire going in the kitchen. She started preparing breakfast. When Mama Chidi came out and saw her, she said nothing. She just stood there, watching, smiling, her eyes misty. Later that morning, as they were packing to leave, the entire compound gathered to say goodbye. Every single person came out. The aunties, the uncles, the cousins, the neighbors, even Mama Adezie, who Auntie Ego had told her about. The aunties hugged her tight like she was their own daughter. "Don't forget us in Lagos," so Auntie Ego said. "Don't go back and become soft again. Don't forget what you learnt," Auntie Nkiri added, "and visit us. Don't be like these Lagos people who come once and disappear for 5 years. And post some of that water fetching content," Auntie Feoma joked. "Show your Instagram people what real work looks like."
Everyone laughed. Mama Chidi walked them to the car. Before Zara could get in, she pulled her close. "Remember," Mama Chidi whispered, "strength is not just physical. It's mental, it's spiritual. It's the ability to do hard things when you don't want to. You have that now. Don't lose it in Lagos." "I won't, Mama, I promise. And when you get married properly, when we do the traditional rites, you will come back and you will help cook for your own wedding. That is our tradition." Zara's eyes widened. "Cook for my own wedding? Mama, there will be like 500 people. "Yes, and you will cook for all of them, with help of course, but you will cook. Can you do it?" Zara thought about saying no. The old Zara would have said no, would have hired caterers, would have had the wedding at a 5-star hotel with professional everything. But she touched the coral necklace around her neck and smiled. "Yes, Mama, I can do it." Mama Chidi smiled so wide her face looked like it would split. "That's my daughter. That's my strong December wife."
The drive back to Lagos was very different from the drive to the village. Zara sat quietly, the coral necklace around her neck visible above her simple t-shirt, looking out the window at the changing landscape. No ring lights, no selfies, no complaints, just thinking. "You okay?" Chidi asked after an hour of silence. "You are being very quiet. That's not like you." "I'm just processing," Zara said. "I'm different now, Chidi. Like fundamentally different. I can feel it. Good different or bad different? Good different. Very good different. I need to figure out who this new person is. The old Zara died in that village. She drowned in that well, got burnt by that firewood, got beaten by that pestle. And this new person emerged. I don't even know her yet." Chidi reached over and squeezed her hand. "Take your time. I'll be here while you figure it out." When they got back to Lagos, back to their fancy apartment with its air conditioning and running water and Wi-Fi, Zara stood in the living room and looked around like she was seeing it for the first time. Her housemate Blessing came out to greet her. "Welcome, Ma. I cleaned everywhere. The house is spotless."
"Thank you, Blessing," Zara said, and then surprised everyone by asking, "Have you eaten today? Are you hungry? Let me make you something." Blessing's mouth fell open. "Ma, you want to cook? For me?" "Yes. Why are you surprised? Sit down, rest, let me cook." Chidi and Blessing exchanged shocked looks. Who was this woman, and what had she done with Zara? That evening, Zara's friends came over to welcome her back. They expected to hear horror stories. They came prepared to comfort her, to sympathize, to agree that the village was terrible and backwards. Instead,
Zara showed them her hands, her rough, calloused, watering hands. "Girl, what happened to your nails?" her friend Temi gasped. "Where are your acrylics? Where is the wig? Where is Zara?" "I'm right here, just upgraded." "Upgraded? Upgraded? Babe, you look like you've been through boot camp. What did they do to you?" "They didn't do anything to me. They did something for me. They showed me who I could be, who I really am under all the filters and fakeness."
Her friends exchanged concerned looks. "Zara, blink twice if you're being held hostage. Did they brainwash you? Should we call someone?" "Nobody brainwashed me," Zara said patiently. "I just learned something important. There's more to life than soft life. There's also strong life. And you know what? Strong life feels incredible. But what about your content, your aesthetic, your brand?" her friend Chamaka asked, genuinely worried. "My brand is evolving. Watch." That week, Zara posted on Instagram for the first time since leaving the village. But instead of her usual heavily filtered selfies, she posted a photo of herself with no makeup, natural hair, wearing the coral necklace, standing next to Mama Chidi. The caption was long, heartfelt, and real. "I went to the village as a soft life girl and came back as a strong life woman. For 2 weeks, I lived without Wi-Fi, without air conditioning, without DoorDash, without all the things I thought I needed to survive. I fetched water from a well. I made fire with firewood. I pounded yam until my arms felt like they'd fall off. I cooked for 15 people. I woke up at 5 a.m. I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life. And you know what? I didn't die. I got stronger."
That week, Zara posted on Instagram for the first time since leaving the village. But instead of her usual heavily filtered selfies, she posted a photo of herself with no makeup, natural hair, wearing the coral necklace, standing next to Mama Chidi. The caption was long, heartfelt, and real. "I went to the village as a soft life girl and came back as a strong life woman. For 2 weeks, I lived without Wi-Fi, without air conditioning, without DoorDash, without all the things I thought I needed to survive. I fetched water from a well. I made fire with firewood. I pounded yam until my arms felt like they'd fall off. I cooked for 15 people. I woke up at 5 a.m. I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life. And you know what? I didn't die. I got stronger. My future mother-in-law and the village women didn't break me. They built me. They showed me that being a wife isn't about having perfect nails and perfect hair. It's about having perfect strength. The strength to do hard things. The strength to survive when life gets tough. The strength to stand on your own 2 feet. This necklace, it belonged to my fiancé's grandmother. It's given to women in the family who prove they are strong, not just pretty. I earned it, not with filters or followers, but with work, with resilience, with grit. Soft life is cute, but it's not real life. Real life is hard sometimes. Real life requires you to be capable. And now, I'm capable. I can survive anything. To all my Gen Z sisters out there, I'm not saying abandon your soft life dreams. I'm saying add strong life skills to your repertoire. Learn to cook. Learn to survive without technology for a day. Learn to do hard things. Because when life gets real, and it will, you need to be ready. Thank you, Mama Chidi. Thank you, village women. You gave me the greatest gift. You showed me my own strength. Soft life is cute. Strong life is legendary. Hashtag December wife. Hashtag village wisdom. Hashtag strong life. Hashtag Gen Z growth. Hashtag character development. Hashtag not your typical wife. Within an hour, the post had 1,000 likes. By the end of the day, 10,000. By the end of the week, it had gone viral. 100,000 likes, thousands of comments, shares everywhere.
The comments were incredible. This is the character development we needed to see. Claps! From soft life to strong life. Respect. Thumbs up. The village women always know what's up. My grandmother did the same thing to my mom. I'm crying. This is beautiful. Going to visit my village this Christmas. African mother-in-laws are the real-life coaches. Laughing emoji. Okay, but can we talk about how glowing she looks without makeup? That natural beauty? The coral necklace is stunning. The symbolism, the heritage. Brands started reaching out. Can we sponsor your strong life journey? A wellness company wanted her to be their ambassador. A documentary filmmaker wanted to tell her story. But the best comment, the one that made Zara cry real tears, was from Mama Chidi, who had somehow created an Instagram account with Auntie Igor's help.
At Mama Chidi Real One. Proud of you, my daughter. You passed the test with flying colors. You are ready. Welcome to Be Family. The wedding preparations begin soon. And yes, you will be cooking. Love you. Heart, prayer hands. Zara screenshotted that comment and made it her phone wallpaper. Over the next few weeks, Zara continued her transformation. She didn't abandon her lifestyle completely. She still lived in Lekki, still had help, still enjoyed nice things, but she was different. She woke up early now, even without an alarm. She helped Blessing with chores, not as a boss, but as a partner. She learned to cook more dishes. She cut down her screen time. She started a garden on their balcony. Tomatoes, peppers, vegetables. Chidi watched in amazement as his soft life fiancé became a domestic goddess. Who are you and what have you done with Zara? He joked one morning, finding her making breakfast from scratch at 6 a.m. I am the woman your mother raised in 2 weeks. Zara replied with a smile, the woman I was supposed to be all along. She started a new content series on Instagram, Strong Life Saturdays, where she taught her followers practical skills, how to make a budget, how to cook basic meals, how to change a tire, how to survive without delivery apps for a day, how to disconnect from social media without having a breakdown. Her followers ate it up. Her engagement rate tripled. But more importantly, she felt fulfilled. Like she was doing something meaningful, not just performing for likes. 6 months later, Zara and Chidi had their traditional wedding in the village. And true to her word, Zara helped cook for the 500 guests. She was up at 3 a.m. cooking alongside Mama Chidi and the aunties. Her hands moved with confidence now. Her arms were strong. Her spirit was unbreakable. When the wedding guests ate the food and praised it, saying it was the best wedding food they had ever had, Zara beamed with pride. This was her work, her contribution, her strength. During the ceremony, when she was being presented to the family, Mama Chidi stood up and addressed the crowd. This woman you see here today is not the same woman who came to my village last December. That woman was a child, soft, unprepared for life. But we molded her. We tested her and she passed every test. She is now ready to be a wife. Not just any wife, a strong wife, a December wife. The kind of wife who can build a home, raise children and survive any storm. I am proud to call her my daughter.
The crowd erupted in applause, and Zara, she stood there wearing her wedding attire and her mother-in-law coral necklace, feeling more beautiful, more powerful, more herself than she had ever felt in any Instagram photo. But wait, there's one more thing. 1 year later, Zara was pregnant with her first child.
And when her own friends started getting engaged and complaining about having to visit their future in-laws' villages, Zara just smiled and said, "Go, let them test you, let them mold you, let them show you what you are made of. You hate it at first, you cry, you want to run, but you come back stronger. Trust me, the village women know what they are doing. They've been doing it for generations. Soft life is cute, but strong life is what saves you when things get hard. And things will get hard. So get strong now. Thank me later." And her friends, seeing how she had transformed, how happy she was, how capable she had become, started listening. Because the December wife had spoken. And when a December wife speaks, you listen.
Thank you for listening. And before you run off to avoid village chores, please hit that subscribe button. Join the community of future December wives and strong life champions. Soft life is sweet, but subscribing is sweeter. See you in the next story.